We go a long way back.
We do.
I hung on. Oh, wow, you fixing your hair. I like that.
Oh, my God. You are so distracted.
I know I'm so distracted.
Yeah, look at you. You know what? We're gonna end this interview, and you're gonna look at me. I'm taking my glasses off, and I want
damn it! Why'd you do that?
I want you to look in.
Why'd you do that?
Look at me. I just took my glasses off. Look at me and deal with me. I'm right here. It's not about them. It's about you and me. You and me. When we retire from comedy, we're gonna live together.
You want to? Yeah,
you want to do that?
I want to do that.
Do you want to live with me?
I want it done.
The two of us together in an apartment.
I want it done, but then you're probably gonna go after my Walmart money.
Well, I'd like a piece of it.
Nah, no, I'm not sharing that with no one.
Okay.
But Conan,
yeah,
what was I gonna say just now before you distracted me?
You were gonna say, Conan, you're the best, you're the funniest, and I love you more than I've ever loved anyone else in this world.
Absolutely.
You said it just like I wrote it.
Absolutely.
Tracy, I love you. I really do.
I love you more, Conan.
And
you know what the best thing about me and you?
What?
We're always going to be friends. Being with you, you taught me a lot. And I was comfortable because you were a writer on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
So you are literally my alumni.
That's true.
Literally.
It's like we were in the Army together at different times, but yeah. I think everyone at SNL feels
I knew
that
what
way.
the drill was.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here now.
All right, I'm going to hang out with you for the rest of the day. What are we doing?
Just hanging.
Okay.
Whatever. We go to Times Square. We just hang out.
I don't want to go to Times Square.
Well, my boy runs the Big Apple Circus. We can go over there and watch him walk the high wire. It doesn't matter.
I think people get creeped out if you and I are hanging out on the Big Apple Circus.
All right. We could go to Benny Hanna's.
Oh, I love Benny Hanna's.
I know Benny. I went to high school with Benny. I know Benny. I know Ben. Yo, B, come here.
Did you teach him to light stuff on fire? Was that you?
That was me. Choo-choo train and all that?
Yeah.
I gave him that technique.
All right. Tracy Morgan, I'm going to, I hate to let you go, but I got to let you go because
right
you
on.
have other things to do. But
I'll be back. As long as you're doing this, I'll be back.
I will talk to you anytime.
And I have a lot of stuff to talk about.
And I'll tell you, I will talk to you anytime. I will learn very little. Most of what you say is not true. But you also...
But you don't talk to everybody.
No, I don't.
You just don't.
I don't.
And everybody ain't doing this show.
No. You're a good man. We're shaking hands right now.
I love you, Conan.
I love you too, man.
Yes. Hello, my name is Triumph, the insult comic dog, and I'm very proud to be Mark Maron's friend. Very proud indeed. How have you been? You look good.
I'm feeling neurotic. I've been feeling a little neurotic lately.
Are we good?
We're good.
Are we good?
We're
That's
good.
That's his catchphrase. I love the guy. No, wait a minute. You're not Mark Maron.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm Conan. My name's Conan.
Conan O'Brien. Yes. The guy I carried on my back for how many years?
At least 10. It was a decade.
It was about 10.
It was about 10.
Yeah. I peaked around 2009. Let me see here. Okay,
6.
Let me change my no 6. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Give me 9. At least give me 9.
Okay, 2009.
If you average between 6 and the Wiener Circle sketch, it comes out to 2009.
Very nice. Okay.
Starting over. My name is Triumph, the insult comic dog, and I'm proud to be Conan O'Brien's friend. And like most of his friends, I'm not real. Pachum! You see, because everybody pretend. No, Conan, honestly, I'm one of those people.
You.
I am one of those people who gets to, I've been around, I've known this guy for years. I'm one of those people who gets to proudly say that I knew you at the very beginning, and here I am at what is clearly the end. No, it's great. No, you got the podcast. And now look at you. You're on satellite radio. Satellite radio, the wave of the past. Sirius XM, the abandoned mall of the entertainment industry. No, it all makes total sense. It's like that old saying, why get your milk for free when you could rent the cow for $21.99 a month? Serious subscription, yes. No, I kid. I really do kid. No, Conan O'Brien needs a friend. What a great title. I just have to ask, why start the show now instead of in middle school when it could have made a difference? Imagine having friends back then.
I know.
Imagine what it would have been like. No, I do love the new show. I love, the banter and the way you've managed. I am so impressed. The way you've managed to abuse your staff in a very kind of way that the audience thinks is ironic is just very impressive. So impressive. No, listen, folks, he's a complicated man. Complicated man. The comedian with a dark side. You're like Pagliacci, the clown. And that's just for how much makeup you have on. Seriously. This guy, Conan's in the makeup chair longer than Jim Carrey as the Grinch. No, I kid. You haven't aged. You've grown. You've evolved. Yes. Back when Conan started, guys, he would nervously talk over all his guests. But here it is 30 years later, and now he talks over them with total confidence. I love this man. Conan gave me a career. He gave me a career back then. He helped me grow up. He also helped me through some very hard times. Like when I walked in on him naked in his dressing room. Red pubes.
Copper.
Copper. Well, close enough.
Yeah.
It's like staring into the face of Raggedy Andy. Anyway, on a happier note, Sona.
Oh,
everyone loves Sona, the pride of little Armenia. I think I might be part Armenian or Pomeranian. Either way, I have a hairy back. I kid. That's a stereotype.
Terrible.
That is an unfair stereotype. Not all Armenians have hairy backs. There's Armenian toddlers up to 6 months. No hair. Let's be honest, though. All of us owe Conan so much. Conan made me a star. Conan made Sona a star. And Conan made Matt somewhat recognizable in the Glendale Public Library. Seriously, he can't walk into that library without at least one person wondering where they know him from. All right. Honestly. No offense. Love everyone in this room. Even the gray-haired guy in the back. You're all, I'm so honored to be here and so honored to be on this incredible podcast. For me to poop on!
Oh, wow. I have to say, this is going to be a shock to people, but I don't think I've seen you whenever we've done that.
All the times we've done it,
I look at the puppet, and what I see is the top of your curly hair.
Yes.
From the very beginning, I
Right.
wouldn't see you. So to see you, it was even the same with the clutch cargos.
Right.
I wouldn't see you. I would see just the
Right.
lips. But right now, watching you
the
do
sausage.
it was kind of like a revelation to me. And also,
Seeing what? How much I enjoy it? Or?
well, how much you enjoy. Well, I always knew how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
From
that
the
was
giggling, from
I
the
think-
incessant giggling. Yes.
because just that's crazy to me that I haven't seen you.
That
do
is so
it.
weird. Yeah, that is
Because I'm
funny.
always
Everybody
now-
else has.
now Triumph, please.
Yes.
But to see you
Right,
do
I'm
it.
always behind you.
Yeah, it kind of was like there's no Santa Claus now. It's like,
You've ruined it for the children.
you're from Medfield, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And I'm thinking we probably have similarities in the way that we grew up in Massachusetts.
Sure.
And I'm also imagining big differences.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about this in your book. You're growing up in Medfield, Mass.
Yes.
And are you the only Black student in your area, or did you feel like you were an alien that had dropped onto another planet, or did you feel comfortable?
At times, an alien, and then at times comfortable. I mean, first of all, yes. Outside of my siblings, yes. I was like the only one, There were 2 others in my entire school. you know? So there was a level of it that was comfortable because that's all I knew having grown up there, you know, I was used to it. But then there's moments that happen as you mature and you grow and you start to notice like the absence of you, that you're wondering why am I the only person here? Like, where is everybody else? You know, like how come I only see them on the weekends when I go to these Igbo meetings with my family? Or just even like in smaller things, you know, I remember there was one year, Disney, you know, the Wonderful World of Disney, like on Sundays would do their movies. And they had done an adaptation of Pollyanna, an all-black adaptation called Polly, and it was with Felicia Rashad. It's amazing, by the way. If you've never seen it, I love it. I have it on DVD to this day. It's called Polly with Felicia Rashad, Keisha Knight Pulliam, and Bryan Adams, who was like my first like crush. And I remember getting excited because my friends at school, we'd always watch all the like movies, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And then I came one day ready to talk about Polly and nobody had seen it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, how did you miss this genius work that just came out, you know, but that just wasn't on the radar. So those were the moments where you started to notice the gaps. Yeah. I noticed the gaps, you know, or like talking about hair or braids, or moments where people, you know, I'd have like my hair out and then have braids the next day and they'd be like, how did your hair grow so fast? And I was like, I don't know how, you know, I just realized that there was a different understanding of culture.
You talk in the book, which, congratulations, by the way, it's an amazing story.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful story because you're really writing this. It feels like it's your story, but it's also a tribute to your mom, who passed in 2020.
Yes.
You know, one of the first things that I clocked when I was reading the book is your mom, she died too early, but she got to see all your success.
That's right.
And to me, that's the big blessing.
Yes.
She got to see your crazy success because it was a long road for you. But I was watching or noticing in the early part of the book, you're talking about how you were uncomfortable with your name because people had a hard time pronouncing it. So you told your mom you were thinking of changing it to Zoe?
Zoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your mom had this genius response.
She had, and she was ready. You know, I was in the kitchen. I had a teacher and friend, you know, who just could never say it right. And it was like so, tough. And you just want to blend in when you're a kid. You don't want to like stand out for anything. I didn't anyway, when I was little. And I remember coming home and she's in the kitchen and I was like, Mommy. And she's like, eh? And I was like, can you call me Zoe? And she was cooking and she stopped and she was like, why? And I was like, because they can't say Ozamaka. And without skipping a beat, my mother was like, if they can learn to say Tchaikovsky and Dostoevsky and Michelangelo, and they can learn to say Ozamaka. And she just went back to cooking. And it was like, the end of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
mic drop.
Mic drop. A total mic drop.
Yeah.
And she had been through it before. I have an older sibling, my older sister. Her name is Oni. She wanted to be called Tony, you know? And like,
Well, that's just confusing.
the same.
Hey, Tony!
And she'd already said the same thing to her, you know?
Yeah.
And what she was really just like establishing right there at the door was who you are is okay, is enough, and everybody better get used to it.
Good. God bless.
Yeah.
You were a good student, great athlete. You were very serious figure skater.
Yes.
For years and years.
Yes.
And you were interested in going to the Olympics and you had a lot of ability. And then your parents come to you and say, we can't afford this anymore.
Yeah. You know, I'm one of 5 kids. And, we had a pretty humble upbringing. And already there were 2 of my siblings were in college. And it was just, figure skating is a very, very expensive sport for people who don't know. You know, there's skates and ice time and coaches' fees, choreography, costumes, travel, adds up. And, my parents were doing the best they could, to keep up. But as the hours were growing, and just in that year when I had to stop, my coach at the time had said, she actually needs to skate more, put in more hours, and, we can see where this goes. And at that point, my parents were already, pretty stretched thin. And they were like, my mom sat me down at a competition and she was like, this is going to be the last one. This will be the last one. She's like, we can't afford it anymore. This is like a college education, we don't have it. And it was tough at the time, as a kid, you don't have that same understanding. And I didn't have the level of understanding or maybe even appreciation on some level of what had already been expensed and sacrificed for me. But when I look back on it now and think about it, I'm like, wow, there was skating, there was violin, there was cello, there was ballet, there was hockey. There were so many things that my parents saw when they came to this America, as my mom would always say, that as opportunities and exposures and experiences that just did not exist, wholly did not exist for them as kids, that it was like, wow, they did everything they could. They stretched it to the line to try and make it happen for their kids and just give them a taste, even if they couldn't serve you the whole meal. They wanted to give you just a taste of the possibility of America.
Also, I have this theory that good work is never wasted.
Yes.
So if you, in this case, at a young age for many years, work very hard on figure skating and the training and the dedication and the repetitive repetitive honing of a certain skill over and over and over again is an amazing thing to learn. And that's going to be with you. Clearly, you take that because that doesn't work out, but then you get interested in theater and you apply that to acting. And so all hard work is preparation for something else. People get too literal and think, oh, that was all wasted because you're not a professional, you're not an Olympic figure skating champion. No.
Yes.
That all went into something else.
100,000%. Like having done track and field as well and figure skated like for so long, which are individual sports for the most part, like self-motivating is something that I've learned since I'm 5, you know what I mean? Good head talk, being able to like talk my head into doing something that I want to achieve, because you have to do that for the 3.5, 4 minutes on the ice. You have to develop a good head talk. You have to develop a good head talk when you're on the blocks running track to get your mind in the place it needs to be to achieve. And listen, guess what? If that's not true for me, I have a daughter now. I can shove these dreams under her. So it's like, joking. I'm joking. Kidding, sort of. No.
Not really. You just be a total tiger mom. You play Shirley Chisholm, just this great historic character, and you get an Emmy for that as well.
Wild.
And it's just, and like I say, it's when it starts to rain, it really pours, But it's a great feeling that, to me, because so much of this book is about your mom and getting strength from your mom and perspective from your mom and reading your mom's journals and going back and reading after she passed her journals. And there's a part where you're reading her journal and she's writing in her journal. You didn't know this at the time, but man, I'm really worried about so I don't know that she's going to make it. And she would, leave food, put food in your refrigerator.
Yeah. Like after I'd moved, I'm reading these true story, like reading these journals, and it's like she's in there just like constantly, like this path that I've chosen. She's like praying. The thing I think she's prayed every night. Like she's like, I pray every night. And ending her journal, she's like, that Uzo, I'm worried about Uzo. She never calls me if she needs money. She called today and I gave her what I had, and it's like she's stressed out. She would come up the first time she came when I moved to New York. And I didn't have anything. I was waiting tables. I didn't have anything in my fridge. And she was like, "What? Where is your food?" And I was like, I just eat at work. It's fine. Like they give a pre-meal. I don't know if any of you guys wait at tables, like pre-meal. They give you pre-meal there. I was like, they give me pre-meal there. And so I eat that. And, in the morning, I just have like a little oatmeal or like a couple of hard-boiled eggs. It's fine. And right before she's leaving, she took me to the Stop and Shop. So I was in Queens. She took me to the Stop and Shop over there in Sunnyside, a store on the Astoria line, which is a big grocery store. And she was like, get whatever you want. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And she's like, whatever you want. And she like would come and either bring food from home or like help me stock up my fridge. Cause she was like, I can't do much, but I can do this, and would just like, contribute in that way. And I'm forever grateful. My mom was an amazing lady. I just need to go on record as having said that she was not a good mother. She was an excellent mother.
Well, I mean, that's such a big part of this book, which is so nice, is talking about that. You said your mom was not a tall woman.
No.
She's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
But she seemed really tall to you.
Huge. She was a giant to me my whole life. In my child memory, and probably because I'm like 2 feet, but I'm like looking up at her, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it was until well adulthood that I realized it was like, you're like, not only are you not tall, you're actually short. Like, you're small. But she
was wearing incredibly like high platform. She got these Elton John shoes.
That's right.
At the Elton John estate sale.
That's right. That's right. She wore them to intimidate. Took them off when we were older. She was that. And like, but she was like spunky and like had such a big personality. And like, I was trying to be, I'm the big personality too in my house, and like, would talk and be like, no, we need to do it this way. And my mom's like number one comment to me all the time was, Uzo, there's only one captain on this ship. And you're looking at her. That's like her go-to line.
What's interesting is you talk about so much, people always think they need to change or mold themselves to make it, when sometimes, for example, you like the way that you said you were interested in changing your name when you were younger. You were interested, or you had people tell you early on in acting, you've got this gap in your teeth. You should probably do something about that. And there are a lot of people who go through these cosmetic changes to try and fit into something that someone else thinks they should fit into.
Yeah.
But now that whole idea just seems crazy.
It does. And I can't imagine if I had done that. Frankly, for me, there were so many pictures of me when I look at myself as a small kid. I just did not smile because I was so conscious of my gap. I'd do this like, closed mouth smile. My mom would always be like, smile, smile, smile. And then my senior year, I had a photographer for my senior yearbook portrait. You get your senior pictures. It's like the fancy one.
Yep.
Right. So we had like the outside guy come and like do the like yearbook picture. And, like every time we'd be talking, I'd be smiling. And then as soon as he picked up the camera to shoot, I'd close my mouth and not smile. And he's like, why do you keep doing that? What's that about? And I was like, I don't like my smile. And he was like, really? I think you have a beautiful smile.
Oh,
and
nice.
I didn't smile in that picture, but I did immediately the rest of that school year start smiling. And even now, when I walk on carpets and I'm supposed to give, like face or whatever, I find myself wanting to smile. And it's because I want to like make up for these lost smiles, you know? And I feel like it's such an identifier for who I am. And, like if I changed that, like that's so much of my ancestry in this space between my teeth. It's who I am. It's the smile my aunt has. It's the smile my great aunt had, it's a smile so many of my cousins have. We call it my mother's maiden name, Anyoku Gap, and I would have taken a piece of myself away, and now I just wear it proudly. And when asked to take it out in the beginning of my career, I had a choice. And there was an early part of my life when I wanted to really fit in and thought taking away the parts of me that made me unique would make me better.
Yep.
And at this stage of my life, when I was approached with this idea of closing my gap, I really understood that the parts of myself that made me unique are actually what make me better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just...
It takes a little bit of living to figure that out.
For sure.
Especially when you're... I had this experience where Mike Wallace, the great, like journalist and host of 60, kind of one of the lead hosts of 60 Minutes, he was on our show once, and this has been much commented on. I'm not just white, I'm translucent. I go beyond white. I'm a whole other thing. And a side effect of one of that is that I have this vein underneath my eye that you can kind of see. And I remembered I was doing talking to the great Mike Wallace, and we're having this interview, and then I say, okay, well, we'll take a break. We have more with Mike Wallace right after this. Bam, and Mike Wallace just takes his finger and he reaches over and he puts it on the vein underneath my eye, and he said, "What are you going to do about that?" Now, and the thing is, he wasn't being mean.
Yes, he was.
Well, no.
I
have a lot of respect for Mike Wallace, and he was very nice to me. What he was kind of doing was just saying, like, as a guy who'd been in broadcasting since the 1940s or 50s, he was kind of just saying, oh yeah, that's something you're gonna, because I was early in my career. He was probably saying like, oh yeah, so what do we do about that? Is there a kind of makeup you can put on or something? Or can you get rid of it? And I thought, well, it is, I think it's supplying blood to my brain. So I could just see going to a surgeon and having it removed. And I'm just like, welcome to the whole section of the speaking part of my occipital lobe is gone. But man, his eyes look good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just remember thinking, there are all these things about me. I was, I had a weird name growing up and looked a little different and wasn't sure where I fit in. I'm like an Irish Catholic kid, but I don't really like sports. And I like to read, and I have a weird brain. And I remember just thinking like, I don't know where I fit into the whole thing. But then later on, those things become, oh, thank God. I mean, I'd still like to fix the vein, but...
What are you going to do about that?
I'm having it removed tomorrow. But I know it's interesting that there are many different forms that can take for lots of different people who are listening, that if you can write it out, those things... And I think, unfortunately, social media and also the rise of all these different cosmetic surgeries or injections people can get has... I see so many people that have clearly like injected their lips, injected their faces, done things, and they just look like everybody else now. And I think, well, that's too bad.
I love character.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I love those little touches, whether it's in the face, in the hair, in the mouth, whatever, that just makes you stand in a different way. And I actually think those things make you more interesting to
Oh, yeah.
in a beautiful way, you know, personally. That's my thoughts on it. But
well, I disagree. I think you're out of your mind. You had incredible success at SNL and with all of your different characters. And what's interesting, and I know this is got to be a powerful theme for you, but I want to just go back to your childhood because it's so defining. When you were ill, you were seriously, seriously ill.
Yeah.
And I believe you had leukemia, a form of leukemia.
Yeah.
And you'd think that would not fuel comedy.
Right.
But even at the time that you were sick as a child, your family tried to find humor in it. Is that right?
Yes. We would joke about it all the time, and we would particularly joke about all the like perks we got from it, and we would like use it.
Like what perks?
Well,
wow, free chemo. Try and get that at a party.
Well, there's that.
Well, I know. I'm sorry.
No. It's just like, it's like whenever you go through a difficult time, people are so nice to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm messed up that I focus on that. But like I was in high school and I could like come into school late all the time. Like I just came into school whenever I wanted. We had such a strict attendance woman. And a lot of times it was because, you know, I wanted to sleep in, especially like when, you know, later on in my treatment when things were like, you know, I was starting to feel better and stuff. I just could like come in whenever I wanted. I didn't have to do gym class.
Oh my God. That is.
You guys aren't reacting as big as I thought.
No, but
That one hit me.
No,
to the core.
trust me.
That's
You were
big.
talking to 3 people who were very happy to miss gym class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, what is more humiliating in high school than gym class? And you have to change into the outfit, and it's so.
And they want you to climb up a rope, and your arms don't work. This is what I remember.
Yeah.
I couldn't climb up that rope.
Yeah, I just was like, I don't want to start doing this. And they were like, okay. What else? Like, I didn't have to. Someone asked me to homecoming, and I said, well, I have chemo that weekend.
Was this someone you didn't want to go
It was
to?
someone I didn't want to go with.
Okay.
And then I actually ended up going with someone else. But I
Oh
said,
my God! How did
they-
that person
they
feel?
said, I said they changed.
I can't make it. I've got
they
chemo.
changed the weekend of my chemo.
But I'm still
Look,
not
it
going
doesn't
with
make
you.
you a good person. Having cancer doesn't make you a good person.
Hey, if we can get one moral out of today's episode, that
Wait,
okay.
so there's no upside to cancer then, is what I'm hearing? Okay.
I'd like to think I mostly didn't use it for stuff like that, but either way, I also always really liked attention.
Yes,
and it's
yes.
a great way to get it. It's like when you're a kid and you see like someone come on the bus and they have a broken leg and you're like, well, it must be nice to be them. You know, like everyone's going to sign their cast now.
Okay, I can exactly relate to what you're talking about, because when I was in the fourth grade, as anyone who knows anything about me knows, I'm one of 6, and we were born, you know, weeks apart and jammed in together. And I was kind of in the middle, and I felt very anonymous, and really was thinking, how do I get attention? It'd be nice to get some attention. One day in the 4th grade, it was in December. I remember it was right near my brother's birthday. I went to school, and we had gym class, and that day was wrestling. And as a joke, someone came running up and jumped on me, and I fell backwards to put my arm back, and it bent the wrong way.
Whoa.
And I really broke my elbow badly. They were like, well, you're going to the nurse. And I go to the nurse, and my arm won't work, and I know something's wrong. And they call my mom, and my mom comes rushing to school. I'm like, my mom is coming to school?
She loves me?
Yeah, she loves me? And I could remember the nurse on the phone saying, it's Conan. No, not Luke. No, that's Neil you're thinking of. No, it's not Justin. No, Kate is a girl. No, it's not Jane either. No, it's okay. And she was like, got it. But she came. They take me to the hospital. They gave me a drug that made me super high. I remember, like, I don't know what this is, but this is I suddenly have no inhibitions. And then they put me in a big cast. My mom took me home. They put me, like, on a couch in, like, the center of the house. And I remembered all my brothers and sisters coming home and coming up to me to see how I was, and everybody talking about me. And I was told, you don't have to go to school, and it's almost Christmas vacation anyway, so you're going to have multiple weeks off from school. And then I remembered my mom, because it was before Christmas, she went and got one of the toys that, quote, Santa was going to give me and gave it to me ahead of time. Oh. And I was sitting there thinking, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
And then walking around with a big cast and a girl I had a crush on being like, are you okay? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I may lose the arm. And that's just a broken arm. That's not leukemia. That's not cancer.
Yeah.
But I understand there is a weird, I don't know, power that can come from it.
Totally. And, you know, obviously that was like, I feel like sort of focusing on that stuff helped me get through that time, but we really had fun with it.
Yeah.
You had such a fascinating upbringing and childhood. And I've always had this theory that if someone is challenged when they're growing up,
and doesn't have a clear sense of their own identity because it's always being shifted around, that can be an impetus to great things, even if it's unpleasant to go through at the time. And you grow up in India, but then you move to Nigeria at a pretty young age.
Yeah, my parents can smell happiness, and the minute I find it, they move me like somewhere else. So, like,
you know what they were doing? They were like, we want him to be really funny.
Yeah.
So he seems happy right now.
Yeah.
Move him
Right.
and stress him.
So privileged household in India,
Mm-hmm.
and then get moved to Lagos, Nigeria, where I get my ass whooped every week because I'm the kid from India. And I do public school in Lagos, Nigeria. And just as that's going really, really well, I'm like 9 years old. Private boarding school in India, where I get my ass whooped because I'm the kid from Africa.
Oh my God.
Then finally find a girlfriend, I think, in private school in India. Get taken to public school in New Delhi, which is where you get your ass whooped because you're the kid from private school. Then American University, where you're the kid from India. Go back to be in Bollywood, where you're the kid from American drama school. And now in LA, where you're the guy from Bollywood. So you know, I fit in.
And I do apologize for attacking you earlier. When you walked in, I started hitting you. I
Yeah.
just thought, because your parents called me and they said he's getting
Do it.
he's happy again. It's time.
Yeah.
So how miserable were you when you were sent off to private school?
Mhm.
I went to public school, so I never had that experience of being sent away.
Yeah.
At a young age. And I know famously, I mean, there's people that write about it. It always sounds Dickensian to me, like a level of, you're very young and you're sent off to another country often,
Mhm.
and that there's harsh treatment. And I think it just sounds like a nightmare for kids.
It is. My parents were in Africa and I was 7. So 7.5 when I went to boarding school in India.
Oh my God.
And, so I was also very dramatic. So I would write them letters in like red ink and be like, this is in my blood. You've forgotten about me.
Oh my God.
And then,
Wow.
kids would try and run away from boarding school on a weekly basis. And because we're shitty friends, we'd like walk them to the gate of the school and like give them $5 and be like, good luck, man. Like, I hope you make it. But like my parents were in Africa. And I tried to run away from India to Africa like 4 times from boarding school.
Technically hard to do.
Very hard to do.
Wow. So you would take off. How far would you get?
Like 3 kilometers.
Oh no.
But I feel like boarding school either graduates like generic boarding school people who you can recognize a mile away,
Right.
or like complete misfits. And I'm the second.
There was this, I was reading a biography of Churchill, who always kind of fascinates me. And when he was very young, his parents, of course, were, quasi noble, and they were. His father was a very important person, and he was sent away at an absurdly young age.
Yeah.
And he always had minders, so he never really saw much of his parents. And his father's a famous politician. And one day, and he's very bitter about the fact that he's been sent away to this very tough English private school. And then he finds out one day that his father's in that town giving a speech. His town, his tiny little town where his school is, and his dad didn't stop by and visit him. And I was reading the letter and it was like, dear father, I'm hard pressed to think of why you couldn't at least wave at my window. And of course, the father was like, bugger off. I have no time for this. But that's what it always sounds like to me.
I'm prepping you to defeat Hitler. It's basically,
exactly.
like that's what you need to defeat Hitler.
Yes, we do need someone to stand up to Hitler about 40 years from now, and you're going to be the guy, and the only way to get there is to totally treat you poorly right now.
It's really sad.
I kind of pushed myself out of boarding school in a very disturbing way. So we were an ex-British military academy.
Right.
It's like a 150-year-old school. And we had these things called headmaster's cards. And if you get 3, you're kicked out. And I decided by age 12, like, I'm done. And my friend had appendicitis and his appendix had ruptured. And so one day I just went into the nurse's office and I'm like, I have appendicitis. And she's like, okay, where does it hurt? And I said, here, where it hurt for my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Spent like 2 days in the hospital just eating ice cream. And then in the middle of the night, they were like, we're taking you to a different city. You're going to get operated on.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay. And then I'm in an ambulance. And then the next thing I know, I'm on an operation table, right? With 2 doctors who are like, you sure this shit hurts? And I'm like, yeah.
Right? Wait, you stuck to it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then my parents were in Africa at this point, right? And so I wake up after anesthesia, like 18 hours later. My mother from Africa is sitting in the hospital in the north of India, and her and 2 doctors look very pissed off. And they're just like, his appendix was fine. And then the boarding school was just like, I don't think he's happy here. Like, maybe you should take him out.
So they opened you up.
Yeah, pretty much.
You went under anesthesia and they opened you up.
They still took out my appendix to be safe, like just because that they were in there. If you're in there, you might as well. But yeah, that's.
They also took out a lung.
Yeah.
We're here. That lung looks fine, but who knows? Maybe one day. Let's just take it. So wow. So that got your parents' attention, though.
Yeah, and then I was sent off to public school, where it was a better journey. Like I think I was more meant for public school.
Okay, so when's the moment? This always fascinates me when you figure out I'm funny. I have a superpower.
I think comedians either come from the coolest kid in school or the most bullied kid in school. Are usually comics, right?
Yeah.
And the coolest kids, I'd venture to say, have less longevity in comedy than the bullied kid. And I just remember being the kid who would get his ass beat because he couldn't shut up, and then not being able to shut up during the beating. You know what I mean? Like, where I'd be like, what is this really accomplishing? Does this make you feel better? And I wouldn't shut up. And then sometimes the guy beating you would crack a smile as well, and you'd be like, yeah, I think this is funny. I think I have
I have to
something
admit, you're pretty funny. Now, where was I in the beating?
Yeah.
I think, so you start to notice, I think a lot of times you start to notice it with your friends.
Yeah.
If you have any friends, I always think that's where it starts, and that you can make your friends laugh. And then it's a thing of how can I widen this circle a little bit slowly, to include other people who aren't my friends. But I like doing this so much. I like making people laugh. How can I expand out from there?
I think so, but I also think making your friends laugh is sometimes like a disservice to comedy as well. Like, the first time I ended up doing stand-up, I was in college and it was like my last year, and I'd gone through like 4 years of drama school. So 4 years of sitting in a circle and crying and holding hands and doing things like emoting with your shoulders or whatever the hell they tell you to do in drama school, right?
Yeah.
Just like
I've noticed you emote exclusively with your shoulders. There's a lot of motion up there.
The basis of Bollywood, my friend, is emoting with your shoulders.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I ended up writing, like, as a almost rebellion, this show. Remember there was a movie called White Men Can't Jump?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wrote a show called Brown Men Can't Hump in my final year of college. And so the first time I did stand-up, it was like 65 minutes for 800 people.
Wow.
And all friends, so just inside stories, and you feel like you're like, I'm the shit. I'm amazing at this. Cut to you at an open mic in Chicago, like 3 weeks after graduation, getting booed off stage. And you discover, no, I need to be able to make strangers laugh.
Yes.
As well.
I have to tell you, of all the places I've been in the world, my brief time in India, and I still believe this, and I don't know how you feel about it, it is the most different culture I've ever been in. I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
But when you're in India, and I said I was in Jaipur, and we were driving to a location, and we're going through sort of the heart of the city, and people, cars, livestock, everything is moving, but there was no formalized flow of traffic. Everything was moving in all directions. And I thought it was kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, if you surrendered to that, you're like, this is so completely different from anything I've experienced on the planet Earth before.
Yeah.
And the people are very beautiful, and but I remembered feeling completely outside my body. That
The moment you land, and then you're driving to the hotel. You're driving around animals on the street, and there's 6 people on a like a bike.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
I think
incredible.
you guys go through 3 stages, right? Whenever my friends from abroad come over, it's because I recognize that it is sensory overload.
Yeah.
It is
total
more,
sensory overload.
more colors and people and flavors and everything that you've experienced in like a per capita basis, right? So they always come in, and my friends are always just kind of glazed over the eyes for the first 2 days because they've just never experienced so much in 48 hours. Then I meet them like a week later and they're really homesick, right? They're just like, I miss peanut butter or some shit like that, right? And then, right? And then you meet them. Right?
I miss peanut butter.
Then you meet them a week later and they're like, I'm never going back. Right?
Yes.
And that's the arc.
You've got to make it past
I miss
the peanut butter stage. I remember I put a lot of peanut butter in my baseball cap.
You did. You had me pack it.
And I kept taking my hat and going,
yeah, I wasn't allowed to pack clothes because I had to pack all your peanut butter.
I've had comedians show up to comedy festivals with peanut butter in their suitcases. Like I had a female comedian from LA show up with like bread and peanut butter. And I'm like, we have 1 billion people. We're feeding each other, like we and then she went on to eat every local thing that she could eat in like under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting because we love doing travel shows, and I really wanted to go to India and do a whole travel show.
Yeah.
But and I would still like to do that. I remember the government was very much like, well, what are you going to do? Well, we go to all these different countries, and I don't want to diss the country. I want to go there and meet the people and make comedy with them. I don't want it to be making fun of them. And so, but I did notice that of all of the governments that we encountered, India felt, and I know that you've run up against this, they want a lot of assurances about what we're going to do while we're there. They'd like to see the footage. And I thought, I don't know, it was a different attitude than I had come across before. Do you know what that's about?
I remember when you guys were thinking about doing that because we were emailing, and then the version that I heard could be very, very different, but they said, we're gonna think about permissions because he shot something here before without permissions.
Yes. Yeah.
So
which was something that we didn't even think about, but years ago we did a piece. I mean, we're talking the old late night show.
Yeah.
We did a piece with a writer, Andy Blitz, and it was a really funny idea, which is he's having trouble with his computer. And so he unplugs it and he wraps the cord around it and goes to the airport, and then you see him. It's a very expensive piece. He flies to India, and then he walks through the streets and finds the actual place where the Collins Center is and brings the computer to the person, which we thought was a really clever idea. We were doing this, show by the seat of our pants. And of course, and I don't think it was insulting at all, but they just went and they didn't do the proper paperwork.
Yeah.
And apparently, so then we were, I think 15 or 20 years later saying, hey, we'd love to come and do something that we think is really respectful and fun about India. And they said, you didn't fill out the paperwork last time and you need to be penalized. And at first we didn't know what they were talking about. And then, of course, we talked to Andy Blitz and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't fill out any papers.
Oh no.
Well, man, you can't
Who needs to do that? So yeah.
You can't expect us to fix your computers and then not have good memories. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to remember shit, Just saying, just once I want to see like an American call an Indian tech place and he'd be like, I need to fix my computer.
Yeah.
And just us be like, do you though? Do you really need a computer? What are you going to do on it?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah.
No. And then just put the phone down on you. You don't need a computer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had found, you've very famously went up against it. It's hard to comprehend in American society because we pride ourselves on you can say whatever you want and people may not like it, but that is your right under the Constitution. And I know you've talked about this a lot, but so we don't have to dwell on it, but you gave a very intelligent and wonderful monologue about India, and then flew there. And what happened?
Well, without saying too much, I was doing a show at the Kennedy Center, and then I ended up making a YouTube video at the end of it, which was a monologue, and ended up just and a very kind of improvised thing where my wife and I were in DC, and we were looking at some monuments, and I was homesick, and I kind of wrote this thing down at 4 p.m. before the show, and I showed it to my wife, and I'm like, should I do this? And she's like, yeah, what could happen? And then
it's called Two Indias.
It's called Two Indias. And then we found a wedding photographer on Yelp who had a camera, and we shot it and we put it up. And it really just began with like sort of one news channel. I think we all have the angry, on fire all the time news channel in every country. And so I put it up, and it went viral for like 3 days, lots of love. And then a news channel picked it up, and they kind of set everything on fire. And so on this channel, people were calling me on sorts of things and saying cancel his passport and filing complaints. And then when I landed, I was like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Where did you land? What city?
In Mumbai.
Mumbai, okay.
And then we just kind of buckled down for 2 months. You know, the theme of the new special is also sort of, if you can find a way to stay mentally strong through an outrage cycle, you discover that real life and love is on the way. And I think in moments like that, you discover what it means to be a comic in a certain sense, because you never think about sort of, if you really focus, you're not thinking about fair, unfair, any of these larger things. You're thinking, is this funny? Is there a joke that can be told about this, or a story that can be told? You know, for context, I cannot wait to hear Chris Rock's 5 minutes about the Oscars.
Yeah.
You know, I've never heard him talk about it, tweet about it, post about it, because the rule of being a comic is the first time it happens, it's got to be jokes. You know, and so for me, it was feeling bad that I may have let a lot of people down and also received a lot of love, and saying, can I write the joke that makes you both laugh? Because I take any feedback. Any feedback is good feedback and valid feedback. Head down, mouth shut. And so then I just kind of really dug deep to write a show about being an idiot at the center of the show. And I think 2 months later, after I turned my phone on and there's a lot of love, and suddenly you're grappling, you know, it's a little surreal to not know where you stand in people's hearts.
Yeah.
And I wrote a joke which was, I was on the homepage of the BBC, and there was a big headline that said, "Comedian polarizes the nation." Do you know how badly you have to fuck up before the British say that you divided India?
That's great.
Right? And so it acknowledges a fuck up. It acknowledges that it was polarizing, and now both sides can hopefully laugh at it. And then I just wrote a show to kind of say, can I take some drama in my life and pivot it so it brings a lot of people joy, which I think is the comedian's job. So that's the learning for me this year, is what it means to be a comic, truly.
You know, it's interesting because I think it takes a lot of discipline, and I commend you for that, to go through an intense experience like that where a lot of people are upset and remember that your job is comedy. Because I do think many people would say, I want to go on the equivalent of Oprah and cry. It's something that I've, I bumped into Chris not too long ago, Chris Rock, and I was telling him I really commend you on not, everybody, Oprah and every show like that will do anything to get him to come on and open up and maybe tear up and cry. And it takes a lot of, I think, discipline and a kind of a class to say, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm going to wait for my moment and then do what I do.
Because you want the end result of it to be joy, right? That is my job at the end of the day. And I wouldn't hand over my narrative to anybody else. I wouldn't trust anybody with my narrative but myself. Like as much as I know what, for instance, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have gone through, I imagine there will now be a podcast about the book, about the interview, about the documentary. But a comedian doesn't have to go through that. We can just crack a joke and bring everybody to the table again. I think it's the most beautiful, democratic of professions in that sense. So yeah, that took a while. And you just kind of have to surround yourself with other comics. Like I remember I was at the Cellar, I think the night that I was on the news, and a comic came up to me and he was like, what the worst part is? They're calling you a poet. Ugh.
Right.
And that's such a comedian response where you at some point you go, okay, this is going to be funny someday.
Yes.
And then you buckle down.
Did you, when you went back to India, were you arrested or was it just charged?
No, it was people filed complaints.
Filed complaints.
Yeah, and then the police was like, no, we're not, entertaining this.
And you never felt physically threatened?
No, I don't think there's a more powerful feeling than feeling like you've let people down.
Yes.
And so I think that's the most powerful feeling at the center of the special. Like one of the things that was important with the special is I never want to lionize myself or victimize myself.
Yeah.
This is just funny. I think we all know, the way that I look at it is I never even reference the content as such. To me, you can't predict when content becomes controversial, but you can make sure that controversy isn't your content, and you can kind of be the idiot always. So I think that's been the learning.
Tell me about that transition to Chicago, because that's quite a leap.
It is a great city. I love it. And I had 3 jobs. I was a dishwasher at the Grand Lux Cafe on Michigan Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing open mics at night. And I was a security guard at a tiny school. And it was, I'd venture to say, one of the best times in my life. Where for some reason, you're broke as hell, but you always have enough money for booze and a pack of cigarettes. At that age, it somehow shows up and you have enough money for that one date that you want to have. And there's kind of nothing to lose. It was a great year of my life. And then my visa expired and I had to go home.
Oh.
Did you sell knives for a while?
I sold Cutco cutlery kitchen knives, which is also the year after 9/11. So brown guy at your door with knives. It's not, not a lot of sales. It's like, hey, can I interest you in a...
Maybe don't start with the knife out at that point.
But you have a demo, right? So they give you leather strips and then you cut the knife and then you pile up the strips and then you cut the pile of strips and you cut a penny in half. Great knives. And I think it's like $135 set at that time, and you make like $40 commission. I made 0 sales.
You made no sales?
After 9/11, no chance.
Were you doing comedy right after 9/11?
I was doing like rooms on the south side of Chicago.
And what was that like? I
was booed off stage 7 weeks in a row at a bar called Mike's.
Is that because, before they would even listen to you?
Yeah. A south side room in Chicago is always a tough room, right? Yeah. And very little patience. So I was just going up like, what's up with cockroaches or whatever? And they were like, fuck off. And then
we do want to know what's up with cockroaches.
What is up with cockroaches?
No.
I think we'll...
Coming to Netflix. The Secret Life of Cockroaches. No. And then I think the first joke I wrote was alliteration and not very good, but I just remember kind of yelling at people because I was just broke and frustrated, and I was like, you Americans, you don't value Indian people. We teach you in colleges, and we drive your taxis, and we are your gynecologists, and we sell you food. Without Indians, you'd be starving, stranded, sexless, sterile, and stupid. And that was the first laugh I got from like a group of people.
Oh, that's so. In a way, when did you start to see? And this presupposes you saw it change, but things soften, in the time after 9/11.
I was gone by then, but by the time they softened.
Because your visa expired.
My visa expired. I went home and I wanted to get into, Bollywood, and I got a job at CNBC, which was the craziest thing. I love Jon Stewart. I was a gigantic fan.
Right.
And I ended up taking a handy cam. Before that, I went to Mumbai to be a VJ. I don't know if you guys know what a VJ is.
We know what a VJ is.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just me with like spiky hair and like no sleeves, and then
Well, you're there. That's all you need.
Right.
Spiky
And
hair.
a puka shell necklace.
Yeah.
and at some point a producer actually told somebody else that like his arms are too saggy, so we're gonna give him fake tattoos to cover up the arms. And I was like, just give me sleeves. It would be easier if you just gave me sleeves.
This is why you can't find one picture of me sleeveless. It's my first rule. I will have sleeves.
Right. So now I have henna tattoos that I have to to touch up every 8 weeks. And I was fired in like 3 months, and then I shot a pilot on my friend's kitchen table, which was like a news comedy pilot.
Right.
And CNBC picked me up, and I got to go on the primetime news at the end of the primetime news bulletin at 9:45 and do 3 minutes of jokes every day. And I was 26, you know, on a show that the prime minister's watching, and that every major businessman is watching, and everybody was kind of cool and patient to say, this is clearly a kid and he's clearly very green, but let's give him time. And so I got to do that for like 4 years before trying to do film.
You know, it's interesting. So you knew you were funny and that you had this talent, but acting seemed to be something that you were more interested in.
At the time, yeah, for sure. There's a movie called Rang De Basanti, which is a Bollywood ensemble movie. And, you know, Hindi movies, you know, are full of beautiful people. Just, you know, blessed by God, beautiful and talented and amazing. And I just kind of knew this isn't a space for me. I won't cut it. And then I saw this movie that had this lovely ensemble with like 3 other guys that looked like me. And, you know, now in India, there's a path for like an Adam Sandler kind of an actor or a Ben Stiller kind of an actor.
Right.
Then there wasn't. And then I'm like, I finally feel like there's a place for me in the film industry. And then I went to an audition line. It was a bunch of 6 foot, 2 guys who looked amazing. So I ended up shooting a stand-up special with my own money and getting a DVD together. Just making sure that the DVD looked packaged enough where it could belong next to, I don't know, Magnolia or something in a DVD library. Yeah. And it was called Viragra, because, puns are always fun. And I ended up going to every DVD library in Mumbai where I knew filmmakers rented DVDs from and just giving them 10 free copies. And that made its way to different production houses and like got me auditions. So I got to kind of shortcut my way in.
But that's incredible gumption, and it really and that is, I think, a word from your culture, gumption.
Yeah, it's an ancient Sanskrit word.
But that shows a lot of ingenuity, and that's very impressive that you would do that. And you saw yourself as, okay, I could do this. I'd like to crack this Bollywood film industry. And, it is amazing to me. I don't think most people who haven't looked into it can understand how massive those stars are in India. I mean, it's bigger than, we think, celebrities here are revered. Well, the most revered celebrity here is probably, disliked and liked almost in equal measure, with a few exceptions. But it's a whole other thing in India.
I think in the Indian film industry, once you get to whoever these top 10% are, just the stars of stars, probably the least famous of them is more famous than a Kardashian. Is the way that I would put it. It's an amazing level of respectful adulation and fame at the same time. And it's because, to me, it represents beautiful escapism. Picture, like in my family, we had Sunday mornings was the only time that the entire family would go out together. And, dad is tired from work and mom is tired from work, and you sit down in the movie theater and watch one Bollywood movie and then go out for lunch. So it has to be beautiful and large and magnanimous. Like, if you show us Spotlight, we're going to kill ourselves that evening. You know what I mean? Like, you can't,
you don't want to see a movie where people in chinos are in a fluorescently lit newsroom talking about child abuse.
No.
That's not going to get the whole family. Very hard to turn that into a musical. I tried. I know. I looked into it.
Spotlight the musical hasn't happened.
I tried. I put a lot of my own money into it, and I'll just say it was a mistake. It's funny because we started talking about your relationship with your parents. I'm very curious if they find you funny.
Not one bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they're proud of me, but like my mom will be sitting, like my mom will watch the audience in the middle of my show. And therefore, like I cannot have my parents in my eye line at all during the show.
You know what, I'll just say this. If I have family, any kind of family coming to a show, I can't handle it. It's very difficult. And it could be, it could be the Chicago Theater and there's whatever, 34,000 people packed in that theater. If I know that there's a face somewhat like mine somewhere in there, it chills me to the bone. I don't know what that is. And my parents have been very supportive and happy, and I know they're out there laughing, but it's a kind of pressure that's hard to explain to people.
And you also take it a lot more personally. Like my wife is very smart in that on a 25-country world tour, she'll go like, okay, there, and there. I'm coming with you, but I'm not coming to Arlington, Texas. I'll come to Edinburgh, or I'll come to New York. And so then if you're doing a show and you look over in the wings and your wife is just like on her phone, you take that so goddamn personally. And you're like, I know it's the 50th time you've seen the show, but you have to be as captive as the rest of the audience. So I just rather not, have people there.
I'm just relating to this. This is meaningful to me because I know exactly what you're talking about.
She's like playing Candy Crush during my. I'm like, what the hell?
Do you see I'm killing here? She's like, yeah, but I'm really with this Candy Crush. This is a high score for me. This is a personal best. Tell me about that because that intrigues me. You're in a very small club of comedians that can do a world tour and hit so many different countries. That just blows me away.
You thought there was a downside to having 1 billion people, huh?
1 billion just feels like too many to me.
Yeah.
I've been offered 1 billion fans, and I just don't find it. No, but I mean, tell me, so what are your favorite countries to go to? Or you don't have to say favorite, but what are the countries you'll say, oh my God, I'm going to absolutely kill it there? Because there must be spots around the globe, outside of India where you say like, oh my God, when I go there, it's just a delight.
I like the no safety net places. And I think you probably relate to this as much in that I did a 25-country world tour and, we were in Oslo and in Oslo, we maybe had 800 or 900 people come out. And then that was a Sunday night. And then the promoters, like, there's a town called Stavanger, which is like, 2 hours away, which is a fishing village. Do you want to play Stavanger? And I'm like, how many people? 23. How many free tickets? 20. And it's his friends and that's the best show of the world tour.
Yeah.
There's no Indians. There's no safety net. Your material is tested. So I like that. Or I like going up at the Comedy Cellar, for instance, following some comic that nobody's heard of, but who's 20 years in and is an assassin and so much older than I am and being terrified to follow that person.
It's good to be terrified.
It is so good to be terrified.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And it's also necessary. It's funny you say that about, wanting to play that small village because it's something that I am a little bit addicted to, which is I like to get into places where I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, why is he here? It's a little bit like, where's Waldo? Why is that guy here? And that's one of the things that the minute we figured out we could start traveling our show, I was intoxicated by the idea that I could be in some strange situation in Ghana trying to make people laugh who've never heard of me before and don't really care. That became, I don't know what it is. There's a magic to that of how did I get here and what are these people going to think? And I don't know. I'm endlessly fascinated by that.
And also how funny people are the same everywhere in the world. There are a bunch of angsty, we're just the same. Like comics are the same everywhere in the world that you go. Like I'll try and use like a local opener or a feature act wherever I go. And I've learned more from like local feature acts than I have, from I think the biggest comics anywhere else. So I love that.
Do you do any research and try and find out? I always try and find out what's the deal with this town, because there's always a deal. There's always a oh well, and I know that it can seem cheap because you're playing to the room, but there's part of me that always wants to hit on the thing that they're thinking about, which is that somebody tried to open a knockoff Walmart in town, and but no one really likes them, and then it failed, but then someone else turned it into a Chuck E. Cheese that's also a knockoff, and now everybody's happy. And if you can hit on that and explore that with them, it feels kind of magical that someone came out of the sky and landed here and now is talking to you about what you care about.
I I think the perfect show kind of meanders between shit they want to hear and shit you want to say. And I certainly haven't written it yet. But I think in the first 5 minutes, you have to find something, some sort of local acknowledgement of we're both here and I have, in some sense, experienced your city because it's disingenuous not to.
Yeah.
So like I will kind of go in a little bit earlier and do one thing. So if you're in Stavanger, I will try the fish soup and have, jokes about that.
I always bonded with you over TV. We just love to watch a lot of television. We grew up watching a lot of television. It infected us early. I think it's where probably we got a lot of our sense of humor. But you watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh, yes.
That is something I don't do nearly as much.
How did you find that out? Yes, I do watch a lot of YouTube.
I did find it out.
Yeah.
So what is it? What do you like to watch on YouTube that you're not getting on television? Like, what's YouTube giving you that? And that's not challenging because I just want to know, like, should I be watching more YouTube?
I mean, there's a phenomenon called slow radio, which is like radio where not much is happening. YouTube is like slow TV. So it doesn't have to be a lot happening, but it just keeps sort of happening in front of you. And it can help you settle your brain, I feel like sometimes. So just not like in an era where every TV show you turn on, it's like, well, the last episode, you got to like where the sopranification of television, where
you need to know this much.
Yeah. Like I'm out. I have 3 kids. I'm busy. I can't do all that. Last night I watched a guy, Dr. Connor, he's from the UK and somewhere, and he cleaned out somebody's impacted ear.
Oh. and okay.
And he's got a British accent, so it's very like light and entertaining.
You missed the rave for that?
Yeah, I missed the rave for that. Yeah. Well, it was a really impacted ear.
He couldn't come.
Impacted.
Okay.
He was really
No,
impacted.
couldn't come. He was
So I started with I used to watch, I still do Dr. Pimple Popper. Everybody knows Dr. Pimple Popper. And then I sort of moved to ears. And
the
then
gateway.
Yeah, the gateway to ear. Yeah. So last night,
so you're an ear, nose, and throat man.
I'm an ear, nose, and throat man. Yeah. But and then there's just a lot
I'm a breast guy, and you're an ear, nose, and throat man.
So, and then there's a lot of people. There's a whole generation of young people growing up who don't actually even want to be on TV. So they're actually spending time and effort to make things that are very good, that should be on TV maybe, but these people didn't grow up in a TV generation. So they're just like I watched a 4-hour video about plagiarism on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 4 hours just about plagiarism as it happens on YouTube by a guy named H. Bomber Guy. And I didn't know I was going to watch all 4 hours of it. I was like, let's see what happens. And then it's like 3 a.m. I'm like holding my phone. Like, I got to see how this ends. Does he solve the case? So they're called video essays. And so there's like FD Signifier, H. Bomber Guy. I just discovered Lindsay Ellis. Like there's all these people who are making these basically documentaries, but out of their homes on YouTube. And then you could, and so it's better. I find it to be more entertaining than what's on TV generally.
And what about like cooking shows? Do you ever do cooking shows?
Yeah. Who's the guy? Binging with Babish is good because he takes shit. You would like this. He takes food that has been on television. Like, for example, on The Simpsons, they make something and he makes it in real life. And so you get to see like the food that has been a part of TV shows that he then creates.
I could see that for most any other TV show, but Simpsons is a cartoon, so I don't know how they're recreating. I mean, like if someone goes to Moe's and orders something,
like I think the sandwich, the famous the big sandwich that Homer or he makes what he thinks is his version of that. There's just a variety of things on YouTube, and then like for example, like my daughter wanted to learn how to ride a bike, and I don't know how to teach a kid how to ride a bike. And so we were at the park, and she's like, I want to learn today. She's very insistent.
Right.
And so I Googled easy way to teach kid to ride bike on YouTube, and up tops this video of this guy who's like, here's how you teach your kid how to ride a bike in 5 minutes. And it worked in about 7 minutes.
That's fantastic.
So it's a font of. I feel like YouTube gets disrespected because we think we know. We think we know.
I think there's a certain thing that's perfect, and that's a perfect application for YouTube. The ways that I use YouTube are mostly for guitar. Like there'll be a song that I hear and I really want to hear it, and all I have to do is push in, how do I play that song on the guitar? And there are 9 people there.
Mm-hmm.
2 are always from England. I don't know why. And they're in their basement, and they're showing me how to do it. And they're being very patient.
Yeah.
And I really connect with some of these people. And I think that's a fantastic use of it. I think when people are going on YouTube to learn how to defend themselves legally in a court of law or remove a cornea, that's where it's a problem.
Well, yeah, that happened to me. I shouldn't have removed that cornea, but fair.
Then you went on YouTube,
Totally
how to
fair.
put it back.
How to put a cornea
How
back
do I
in 5 minutes because I don't have a lot of time. How do I reattach this cornea? So. Yeah, but I think there's just a lot of things happening on YouTube. Like, I mean, I watched this show on YouTube. Like, I don't listen to the podcast. And what happened, this is why I sent you that email, because once you sort of go down a hole, it suddenly takes you down. I was like, I didn't know Conan was this good of an interviewer.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been interviewed by him.
Yeah.
I know, but I didn't know.
Since 1993.
Yeah. I just like, he's really good at talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not just confined to this studio, or it's pretty much anywhere I go in the world, I end up talking to people for a really long time in life. That's
I mean, that happens to me too. People,
I can tell that you're like me, and that I'm not waiting for the lights and the cameras or whatever. I will be really having a long conversation with somebody at a gas station, and we will really. I feel like bond in some way, and then I can tell they want to go. So it started with, "Hey, aren't you Conan O'Brien? I enjoy your work." Ends with them saying, "I gotta go."
Yeah, and maybe you don't have a landmine in your house, Conan. But I will see you later. But I think I agree with your wife on that. But
yeah, she would know. She would listen to it. So and life is good.
Not really.
What? No. Here's the thing. I overheard. I'm coming down the stairs because I hear you talking to Andy Richter, who's out there hanging out, taking food from the kitchen.
It looked like a co-working space
and selling it online. And and I remember I think he just said, as I was coming down the stairs, he said, "How's it going?" And you said,
I did the thing where you answered honestly, which you're not supposed to do. You're like, I forget sometimes that you're supposed to be like, it's great. And it's not bad, but
not in that voice.
No, well, that's how you know it's not great. Everything's fine. Thanks for asking. I feel really great about all my life choices and the state of the world. It's really growing great.
I have no issues.
I have nothing. I got 3 kids. I'm perfect number of kids to have. I got a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old. Those ages are all awesome. Yeah, everything's great. Nothing going wrong. Mom's 86. Things are perfect. Yes, life. And I picked the right business to be in. Show business.
Yay.
Like, I've made a lot of good choices. Yeah. No, so things are good.
I get the sense, correct me if I'm wrong, you like some chaos.
Oh, no. No.
No. You like, I feel like, because you always have a bunch of projects. It always feels to me like you have a bunch of things.
Too many things
going on at the same time, and you must be drawn to that. I get very phobic. Mm-hmm. People want me to be thinking about more than one thing at a time, and I visibly tense up because I just want to think about one thing at a time. And I feel like you like to put yourself in a position where, okay, I'm doing this show for ABC, but I'm doing this special for CNN, but I'm also doing this and I'm also doing that, and then I'm building a kiln to make some pots.
yeah. Well, and then I got to finish that ear impact video. Yeah. I mean, I think my problem is that I'm just curious about a lot of things. So I definitely do tend to overload myself with like, I can do this and I can do that. And then also, again, show business, you can't be like, I'm going to do one project because that's going to be the one that is going to pay my bills. So you're like, I probably should start all 4 of these things and see what happens. And then I look up and be like, oh my God, like there's too many things. Yeah. So, but I am unfortunately, as an only child, curious about a lot of things, can sort of talk myself into any idea, and often attracted to ideas that are like, that later I'm like, whose idea was this? And my wife's like, you're the one who decided to do a 4-hour documentary about Bill Cosby. I'm like, oh, that's right. It was me.
Right.
That never gets a laugh.
It used to.
Yeah. So yeah, I find myself going down deep holes that I don't realize how deep and dark they're going to be or how thick they're going to be until I'm sort of like halfway through, and then if you this is what I do. I get into those situations, and halfway through, I throw a hissy fit. And no one says hissy fit enough, and I think we need to bring it back because it's a very masculine way to throw a fit. And I throw I call him a hisso fit to make it more.
I just
a hissy fit.
I get saying like, who made this call? Yeah. Who decided? Yeah. And they invariably say it was you.
Yeah.
And it's usually my wife. And then we get into a fight, and I start assembling the crossbow so I can menace her.
And
with
2 hours later, it's in more pieces than when you started.
I know. And I have an arrow sticking out of my head, Steve Martin, 1977 style.
I have that same thing. Like, who agreed to this? And then somebody will show me an email where it's like, you said I will do this. And like, oh yeah. No, it's just capitalism makes you make funny choices to feed your children. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just I definitely am like interested in a lot of things, and also happen to be in a business where you kind of have to be interested in a lot of things unless you get unless you somehow find the one job, and I don't have the one job, so I have to sort of like and I also just grew up in a way that like I was I was like as being a stand-up comic and who's doing I have to make my own gravy, like the dog food commercial. Like I can't like wait for somebody else to go, you're the guy. I sort of know where I exist in this business, thankfully. So I'm not going to get the call where it's like, we figured out who the next Marvel hero is. It's you. It's not going to happen. So I just know that I have to sort of like do my own thing. Yeah.
Also the training involved and the dieting.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't done it.
Oh, really?
That's the reason.
Only reason.
Yeah. Every day they call. Are you ready? Are you ready?
What are they offering you? What role?
Let him pick. You can have your pick.
Well, apparently Captain Marvel had a. Is there a Captain Marvel?
Yeah, but it's a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah. Well, she has a great grandmother. Oh. And I could play her.
Grandma
with a prominent eye vein and thin lips. So, but also I had to get in kick-ass shape for that.
Oh boy.
No, I just
is this kick-ass shape?
Oh,
yeah.
I just didn't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Clearly, you took your glasses off. And you can't see. You're sitting opposite an incredible male specimen.
I'm sure. I just didn't know.
You didn't know.
I was making sure that I could judge what you think kick-ass shape is.
There's waves of testosterone coming off my body right now, right, Sona?
No, there isn't at all.
She's like, there's not a wave.
I think it's your body deflecting testosterone.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
It's testosterone trying
repellent.
to. Yeah.
Testosterone is passing through your body.
If there's any testosterone in the air, my body repels it immediately.
Hi, my name is Debbie Kamal Bell, and I feel insistent about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's the way.
Yeah.
I think was last time I think you were cautiously optimistic. Insistent, I like that. You're demanding it.
We've evolved.
You kicked the door down.
I kicked the door. I'm not leaving without being your friend.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take all these people with me. No, I have sent you emails, and you respond to those emails, which is like ahead of a lot of people. So I feel like that's
no. I have a very like.
So now I'm hearing you just respond to every email.
I just respond to everything.
I'm Nigerian princes.
I'm so tight. I am so tight with the Nigerian prince.
Fishing scams.
I didn't just give money. I then visited the Nigerian prince, and we hang a lot. He's a very nice person. It's terrible what happened
Subject
to him.
line is, I want to catfish you. You're like, sure, let's talk about this. How do we get this catfish going?
It was, I remember we were going back and forth on something, and then you, for some reason, sent me a picture of your apartment. And I was like, you need to clean.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And then I felt like I had invaded your space.
Yeah.
But it was very messy. I'm just saying, you got to get that shit together.
First of all, I live in a house. I don't know why I got put in an apartment.
Yeah, wow.
I'm a grown man with children.
All I could see was a one room. So
yes. Well, I didn't go here. Let me show you every room in my house. I didn't.
Well, that's what I expected
to be a completion. Let me show you the outside, every room.
I want to see
Here's
everything.
My kids' rooms, all three of them. Here's my wife's room. Here's a closet. Here's some clothes. I didn't. I sent you. I forget what the reason was, but I'm sure it was a very good reason at the time, and I feel weird that you brought it up.
I'm glad I brought it up. I just, demonstrated to everyone two things, that we're capable of being very close, and you could be neater. Those are the two things I want to come out of this podcast.
Those two things are true. Those two things are true. That is true. Since then, we've moved into a smaller house, and now my area is the area of the house next to my side of the bed. That's the only area I get to do with what I want. So so it makes it easier to clean up now.
Do you have any weapons in the house? That's what I want to know.
No, we don't have any weapons in the house.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm not a weapons.
I have a 5-year-old who's very feral.
Okay, I wonder.
What are you going to do? A home invasion?
Yeah,
why are you asking?
Well, I'm bringing this up for a reason. I'm bringing
Okay.
this up for a reason, and
Thank you.
I want to get your take on this, and tell me if I'm crazy or not.
Yes.
This is friends with comedian actor Joel McHale. Joel McHale's running shtick with me is he always gives me weapons. Not guns or anything like that, but kind of interesting steampunky weapons that you can buy on the dark web.
One of those knives that does this. You get one of those.
All kinds of crazy things. And I always ended up like hiding them and putting them on a high shelf. And then I think it was my birthday last year. He gave me a crossbow and a real crossbow. So now I'm announcing this to the world. But when am I going to use a crossbow? And it's apparently like a very nice crossbow. And it's a box. It's completely unassembled in the box. So I just put the box way on this top shelf, way. And when I say top shelf, I'm 6'4". How tall are you?
6'4".
Okay. I have to stand on a box to reach the top of this shelf and slide this box up there. So it's way up on top of this very, very high shelf in our garage. And it's facing the other way, so you can't even see what it is. And it's this box. And inside, it has a disassembled crossbow. And the other day, my wife is saying, I think it's just crazy that you have that thing in the garage. And I said, what? And she said, I mean, anyone breaks into our garage and there's a weapon right there. And I said, what? And then she said, someone could come in and they could use that crossbow against us. And I said, hold on a second. You're saying someone could come into our garage, see that box, investigate it, spend 40 minutes assembling a 14th century weapon, and then come up into our bedroom. And I said, and menace us? That's what I used. I said, menace us with a crossbow, and they've got one shot, and then I charge. I was like, okay, that part.
What?
You don't strike me as a charger.
I'm not a charger.
You strike me as a target.
You strike me as old school cowerer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like an old school, not even new school cowerer.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. My wife would charge. I would flee.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Flee screaming, the money's in there.
I can always remarry. I would scream as I fled.
The insurance is in her name.
She has more shoes than you think. As I flee into the underbrush. Anyway, I just thought, no, that's not something that's not yes, if I had a handgun lying around, but I don't think that's a legitimate thing to be worried about. I want you to weigh in.
I just like the fact that the person breaks into the house. First of all, you have no security apparently, which is interesting. Breaks into the house.
I'd like to get that out there too.
Yeah,
I do not.
Security, there's no alarm.
I don't believe in alarms and locks.
Yeah. So
they don't really work.
So they get to this high shelf. So they're like, so let's say it's like Victor Wembanyama breaks into your house. So he just reaches up and grabs it because he's 7'4".
It would have to be someone, very tall.
Who can see it. He just looks and goes, oh, crossbow right there.
Right.
Pulls it. Opens it up. It's a crossbow. Probably not expecting a crossbow. Then they pull up a YouTube video on their phone. How to assemble this crossbow.
Yeah.
And you hear all the and in that time, you and your wife are just deep ambient sleep.
Yes.
Like
deep sleep.
Deep sleep.
And then comes into the bedroom. And the first thing I would do is I'd be looking at the crossbow and the person wielding it and probably noticing that they've missed a step in the assembly. And I'd be saying
one
that.
of those ones you have to step on and pull up? Or
yeah. I think it's a very complicated, there's like a ratchet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, crossbows were always complicated. They were not, that's why we don't still have them around in general. They very quickly were like, this isn't worth it.
There was a rash of drive-by crossbow.
Muskets also didn't last very long. You better stand there for 20 minutes while I get this reloaded. Yeah, these are not the weapons that.
I'm going to empty this powder into this. Yeah.
But I can guarantee my wife would not let me have any style of crossbow assembled or unassembled in the house. There's
well, so you're sort of saying my wife is you get it. You get it. Maybe I was wrong. I was having fun with the whole thing, as I do, mocking her.
First mistake as a husband.
Yep. Robbing her of her agency. And I was wrong. I admit now that I was wrong.
Okay, good for
you. But we also have a fully functioning World War II landmine in the.
Yes, it's armed.
And I just thought someone would go to that first. Of course, it's armed, dummy.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not going to buy a dud online.
Yeah.
That thing cost me $600.
Now that I'm with, because that's fully armed. It's ready to go.
I'm always amazed at people that, and I think it's a big thing here in LA is people that have a lot of weapons in the house, and I always think that just doesn't go well. That never is. It doesn't seem like a good idea.
I mean, people forget that California is basically like Texas with gay people. You know what I mean? Like it's not really this sort of like bright blue whatever. Most of the state is Texas, so there's a lot of guns here.
Right.
There's a lot of guns. We just sort of have different laws, but that doesn't mean we don't have the number of guns. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just, but Joel would give me, he gave me, I think were you there, Adam? He gave me a mace. Like a modern interpretation of a knight's mace. So it's not the big spiky ball, but it was this sort of steampunk mace that someone's making in their basement and selling them online.
So like the kind of mace somebody would pitch on Shark Tank.
Exactly. And
I have updated the mace.
Right. And 2 of the sharks would be interested.
Yeah.
Others,
Mr. Wonderful's definitely in.
Mr. Wonderful would be like, I'm in, but we're doing it my way.
Yeah. You licensed the mace. Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks, we don't have a mace in our team store. Yeah.
I have to say, Mark Cuban is always the one saying, for that reason, I'm out. He always says it almost immediately. Almost immediately. He rarely gets involved. And I'd like this to be a deep dive on Shark Tank.
I don't watch I don't watch Shark Tank.
I did have a period of time where I was like, that was the one show I watched. So I could have done it. I could do a deep dive on Shark. That was the only show I watched on TV.
Should I quickly explain, because maybe it hasn't come up yet in the podcast, that Sona showed up today. She has lost her voice.
Yes,
she was at an all-night rave.
I went to a rave.
And this is her real voice right now.
Did you
and
really?
And I just wanted,
I raved it.
in case people don't know, like
you have a time machine?
They're listening to this interview with this very funny guest.
I wore a candy necklace.
And I was, and at one point you were saying like, I'm not sure I should come in. And I was praying that you would come in because it sounds like you're at the bottom of a very deep hole.
I know, it's awful. I felt bad coming in because it is distracting. I'm a very loud person.
No, I know. And I'm also mad at you a little bit too. So
what
we have beef.
What? We have beef.
We have beef. And
let's hear it. Invite you to the rave.
No, that's the second beef. We have 2 beef. We have double beef.
Double beef. 2 patties.
Wow.
2 patties of beef.
Oh my God.
Our books came out on the same day.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I remember that because I saw your name on the New York Times bestseller list too, right next to mine.
Yeah.
Except yours stayed there longer.
Yeah, that's why the beef is not as hot as it would have been.
Yeah.
But I did notice, I was like, oh, well, excuse me, competing on this weird, obscure list that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Random assortment of lists written by people who might be celebrities.
Matt, there are 4 people at this table.
Uh-huh.
2 of them are talking about the day that they were on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
And you and I don't know what's happening.
No, but
we don't experience that.
No, we don't. But we know our World War II mines, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's the same.
It was a
It's the same.
contact mine.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that a New York Times bestseller rave last night? Then I will be mad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
All their favorite members on the list were invited.
The guy who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep.
He was
Yeah.
tearing it up.
Was it the
He
atomic?
didn't-
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck.
I just love listening to her like this. Is there any way, and this, I don't want this to sound in any way insensitive, but can we do something to you surgically so you always sound like this? This is fantastic.
This is so no, I don't.
I
like
mean, they
this.
could. I mean,
Don't you? Yes, they could.
You shouldn't, but yes, you could. That is a thing that could happen.
It's the
Well,
first
thank
time
you,
I've experienced
doctor.
It's like, you could. It's like Jurassic Park. You can do it. Should you do it is the second question.
Exactly.
It's the first time I've seen you kind of vulnerable. It's nice. Yeah.
It's nice. I hate it so much.
It's like a pirate who's now in a tiny little canoe.
Yes.
You know, you're used to the pirate being like, "Arr!" and they've got lots of men with cutlasses and you're scared. And now you've got this little canoe and a little pea
What
shooter.
the hell?
I'm sorry, that's what you are
Oh
now.
my God.
Well,
I'm
she's
true.
screaming right now. That
No
was
one's afraid of you.
Screaming.
Yeah.
It was like General Patton took a hit off a helium balloon or something, you know?
Anyway,
The trick is not to die for your country.
anyway, come
It's to get the other son of a bitch to die for his country.
on. That's what else is going on with you.
Yes. This gig you're working on now, you're a guest correspondent
Yes.
on this ABC show that you were a fan of already called What Would You Do?
I mean, yeah, this show, What Would You Do? It's been on the air. It's for like 15 seasons. It's one of those shows that like a lot of people don't think about, but if you describe it to them, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that show. It's like, it's John Quinones sets up these sort of like prank things, but always with like a sense of like, will people help? And so it's been on the air for a long time. It's big on social media. It's big with TikTokers. But it's like, it's so because there's all these short clips of seeing people in awkward situations trying to figure out what people would respond to that situation. So I've seen it and thought it was a good show, but never in any way thought that I would be invited to be part of it. But I got a call because the skills that I think I've developed over the years seem to be applicable to this. So, and I got to film it in Mobile, Alabama, which is my dad's hometown. So
you said, I want to film this. Did you choose Mobile, or was it just a nice coincidence?
I mean, they knew I was from Mobile. They chose it for me. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think also because John was like, I'm not going to Alabama.
Yeah.
So, and you can only film it in certain states because you can't do hidden camera shows, and like you can't do them in California. So of course you can do them anywhere in the South because the laws are just like so.
There are no laws.
Yeah, so you can so
some of the things. I mean, the times I've seen the show, I think I saw one where there was either a pregnant woman or a woman pretending to be pregnant, and her husband's or her partner's berating her for like, you got to lose weight, and they're just trying to see if anyone is going to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's nice because I always like it, obviously, when people rise to the occasion.
Yeah, I think it's sort of, we live in this time of like, I mean, it's been overstated. It's the most divided. It's the most polarized, and it just sort of shows that like people will generally step up if they can help in some small way. It's not a simile or crossbow level of help, but if there's some sort of like, I can tell you to like, I see you being taken advantage of. Let me help you out. So yeah, it is heartwarming at a time of heart. It's heartwarming at a time of heart coldening in this country.
Are you this gets tricky, but I always lean slightly optimistic even during these times, and sometimes I get shit for that. But I do read a lot of history, and I'm reading a book now about 19th century and an election where the country's completely divided, and one side thinks the other side cheated, and there's a lot of misinformation. And Samuel Tilden thinks that he won the presidency, but there's this massive fight between Hayes and Tilden, and I'm reading it and going, oh, we've been here before. Like, I keep reading things and thinking we've been here before, the difference being now that we have the internet. But I try to always maintain some calm. But unfortunately, my rallying cry is, hey, everybody, things have always been kind of shitty. Take it easy. It was, there was a lot of misinformation, cruelty, and just overall cruddiness for hundreds of years. And that doesn't seem to cheer people up.
If the country can overcome Samuel Tilden, like you all remember how hard that was.
Yeah,
during the
it was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
People were bringing, weapons to Congress and threatening each other.
I can't even imagine.
And I was reading about it, and I was thinking, wait a minute, this is madness. This is, we've done this before. Can't believe we've been doing this podcast for 5 years. Lots changed in the world. I don't know. We have flying cars now.
Do we?
Time transport. A lot's changed. But you know what? There's also things that haven't changed. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Great taste of Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed. It was the original light beer. And to this day, for my money, it's still the best one.
It's good.
I'll fight anyone that disagrees.
Will you?
Well, not with I'll have someone fight for me. Miller Lite has more of the taste you want, less of the stuff you don't.
Yeah.
Yep. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories.
That's good.
It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need, holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes, like beer.
Yeah, not like water that's just kind of beery.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that. Yeah. That's a bad name for a beer, too. Water that's mostly beery. The original light beer since 1975. That's right. Times change, but you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. I came up with that. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Conan. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces.
I always feel like optimism only means something if people are doing the work to make the optimism make sense. Right. So I think that I think some people like to use optimism as a way to sort of go, it's going to be fine. Anyway, back to Love at First Sight or whatever that show is. Back to this video of this guy getting this crud out of this ear. But I think that if you're not literally, and I'm, doing the work to make things better, or you're not in some way putting yourself out there to help, then the optimism is ill-founded. But as a student of history, you also know, no country's on top forever. So I feel like we might be in so I think the world might be fine, but America might be like, over.
Oh,
Well, we
Jesus.
But all the time we have for today. Gonna wrap things up now.
How come that makes me
But
laugh
wait a minute.
so hard?
How come, but then the question is, what does it mean when they say it's over? Like sometimes people say to me, oh, there's going to be a civil war. And I say, well, it's not going to be 1861 where the country's divided over a fairly neatly defined Mason-Dixon line and you've got northern and southern states. It's going to be Oxnards fighting with Malibu. Like it's going to be.
I'd like to see that show.
Exactly, but do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I don't understand how there's a, and then I also feel like yes, people are really riled up, but they're also going to want to still be able to go to their ATM and get their money, and then go to that movie they want to see or whatever. They're going to want to go to that restaurant they want. I don't see what it looks like. What is the Civil War going to look like?
I mean, I think that I don't know exactly how it plays out, but I do think that there's like when people go to see Rome, what are you going to see? What are the things that tourists want to see? Like the ruins of what used to be. So I think you might be like, this used to be a restaurant I went to. Now I take pictures with tourists out here. I think that there's an idea that like what this country has symbolized in the world. Like, think about it. Even just think about something as simple as immigration.
Wait, so it just feels like they have, just keep in mind, they have the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that we're going to be.
SoFi Stadium.
Well, that's it. Okay. All right. I was picturing like a cheesecake factory that has, got vines growing all over it.
This was a food court.
You don't imagine they had Italian food, but also Greek food, but also.
It's called 7-Eleven, but it was open 24 hours. Yeah.
But go ahead. You were making a serious point.
No, I don't have to do that.
No, I want to hear it.
No, I just think that, like, even think about this, like with immigration, this country was whatever it was because we had the best publicist going who said, if you're smart somewhere in the world, go to America.
Yep.
And you can then be the best version of yourself. And so we got credit for a lot of people coming here to then give us their talents and then be American,
Yep.
And now I think if you're some smart kid growing up somewhere on the other side of the planet, you're like, is that really? Is America the place I want to go? So then some other place becomes that place. And I don't know what that place is.
I don't know.
I Google every day, like, what's the new America?
Yeah, where are they going?
Yeah.
Because I still think when I travel around that I do think people are still interested in coming to the United States.
No, I just think, but
you're just looking ahead. You're saying
I'm looking post-November. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, I thought you meant the near future. We're okay.
Yeah,
I got till November.
I'm just thinking about like December 1st, maybe when things have. I mean, I just don't. I don't know what happens. People ask me to know what happens. People always go, "Come." Like, actually, I get this question a lot. Like, "Are you hopeful? Come out." And people want me to be hopeful because I think that means they don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I want you to be. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. You want me to be like, it's fine.
I want you to say it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
so then I can go yogurt shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
and that's why I'm just like,
I'm looking for a gated community that has 3 gates.
Yes,
one inside the other.
And then you could say, I don't have an alarm system. I just have 3 gates.
I have 9 gates.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be this way. Like there are things we can do to make this country better than it is, but we have to be invested in outcomes that are outside of just if it's better for us in particular. And Americans have a hard time with that,
Yeah.
So like you drive through cities and you see sites of things that go, this didn't used to look like this, or these people didn't used to live like this in this way. And we drive past and you go, well, good luck to those people. But, I think that like we have to be invested in the success of the community. And I think one thing that's happened politically in this country is a lot of people in this country are really uninvested in community. They're more invested in themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could because everything is global now. So because of the internet, everything is global. And so everybody's thinking about these global issues as opposed to in my 4-block radius, what can we do to make things better for people? What can we do to help? There's a person sleeping outside right there, and this is our neighborhood. And what are we collectively? What's our response as a neighborhood? But you're right. Everything. I think it's very hard. It's very easy for people to just surf online and be made enraged. That's my feeling these days. Is that there's a lot of anger, and anger can be very useful. It's a very useful state of mind if it's applied to something.
Yes.
But I think what the world we're living in now is
anger that you want to plug it into some kind of crank, or you want to plug it into an outlet and turn it into something positive. But I think right now it's become kind of a sport on both sides, right and left, just getting incredibly angry. And then
I think that is because of how we're talking about social media and YouTube, like, because if you let the algorithm run you, the algorithm will always push you towards anger.
Yes.
So the algorithm runs on us all being like, you're more likely to be like, I hate that guy, and click to the next thing than like, isn't that nice? So I think that like that's why it's on both sides, is because if you're sort of really like locked in on social media, you'll be angry all day, and because that's what social media wants you to be. So I think for me, I've had to really like sort of like, like I got off of Twitter once. I mean, I'm on it, but I'm not on it like I used to be. I really thank Elon Musk for breaking my addiction to Twitter. That was a good thing he did there by buying it. But it's just like of really being aware of like how much you're sort of just going down the doom scroll, because I think that's what social media runs on, and I think that is not helpful to anything. So for me, when I post on social media, I try to give people an opportunity to engage or help instead of just, isn't this sad?
Isn't this terrible?
Yeah. Or at least, or laugh. Like, isn't this funny? I think isn't this funny is way better than isn't this sad with no help attached to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think, that brings it back to comedians. I think comedians are the real heroes.
Oh, God.
Isn't that where we were going?
Yeah, I think if there's any superheroes in this world,
true. I don't need that gig.
If there's anybody who really, the true Purple Heart winners are the comedians in basements and nightclubs around this country.
No. Just specific ones with podcasts.
Yeah.
Well,
podcasting is really the real.
Yeah, that's the real hero.
First of all, just even getting a podcast shows that you've really decided to become a hero.
Yeah. And the heroes used to be late night hosts, and then about 2.5 years ago, I feel like it switched over.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
That timing
Who
is
can
weird.
say why? So on this show, have you shot your segments yet? Do you know what your segments are going to be? And
yeah, we shot them in last August in, like I said, in Alabama and Florida.
Did you get to be in on what? I know they're not really pranks, but what these scenarios would be?
I got to sort of like guide them and sort of like put my 2 cents in, and it's funny when you watch the show, because John Quinones is really like managing the show over his like on a device, like tell them to say this, and I'm watching the show in real time, like, ooh, don't do that, that's it. Like I'm really like I'm watching it like a viewer, and because my dad's from Alabama, I felt really like connected to like, don't embarrass me, Alabama, because as we all know, Alabama is good for embarrassing itself. So right. And I was really like, I can't put Alabama on television and have Alabama look bad and then still go visit my dad. So I was really in. So I got to like really like help sort of craft some of these things and also really be a part of when Alabama looks good, I'm like, it's like they scored a touchdown. I'm like, yeah, Alabama doesn't look shitty, because Alabama really
that's
goes,
on the license plate, by the way.
Yeah. Alabama goes way out of its way.
That's their motto.
Yeah. Alabama often goes way out of its way to look shitty. So I was nervous about it, but and I've been texting people in Alabama like, can I still come home? Can I still walk around? Yeah.
Does it? How old were you when you left Alabama?
I've been going my whole life, so I never I used to go every summer. I used to and I lived there for 2.5 years, but I've never lived there for a whole period of time.
Am I wrong? I would feel like summer would be the time to take a break from Alabama.
Well,
that's got to be brutal.
My mom felt summer was the time to ship her son off to Alabama so she could enjoy her summer.
Oh.
That was how my mom was like, go visit your dad so you can connect with your dad. And so I grew up thinking that my mom
You
never
should be very close to the equator.
Yeah. I grew up
During the
thinking my mom
summertime.
never had a social life, and she's like, no, I did that in the summers. That's when I was out doing fun things, is when I would send you to your dad's in Alabama. So yeah.
Were you an only child?
I'm an only child.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. I can only imagine. And trust me, as a child, I spent a lot of time imagining.
Whenever I find these sad only children who are like, I wish I had. I'm like, I had none of that. I was so happy to be an only child. I feel so I feel like you get to have your own thoughts. You get to think your own things. You get to do your own thing. Like I have 3 daughters, and they're always just fighting about nonsense. And I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, I say to my middle kid, yeah, it was great to be an only child. So I understand what you're dealing with right now, because I wouldn't want to put up with any of this nonsense.
Well, I have 2 kids, and it still doesn't in any way resemble how I grew up.
No.
Because there's a level of sanity, civility, order. And I love my parents. They did a great job, but there was just, when you have a child every 4 months.
Well, plus we have a 5-year-old. We have a 5-year-old who wasn't born during COVID, but she was 1 when COVID started. So she's really like I said, she's feral. She does not understand polite society. We had to when we dropped her off for the first day of kindergarten, we had to give a list to the kindergarten teacher, like, she doesn't really do clothes every day. She's not really into sometimes she barks, it's just, but good luck. So
someone told me that's a real phenomenon. My kids were older during COVID, but that there was this for kids that weren't around other kids during that crucial time. Mm-hmm. They have sharpened incisors, and long fingernails, and prehensile tails.
Yeah,
they're like
no. She's like the other day we were in the car and she's feral. She's like, "Arr!" Like she'll growl. It's like, and so my wife said something to her like, "Oh, you're really acting like a baby monster," and my daughter, and I quote, said, "I am not a baby."
But didn't disagree with Monster. Conan, you're a redheaded asshole. I'm not really a redhead.
Yeah.
I'm a strawberry blonde. What about asshole? Carry on.
I did an event. This was when I first got to CNN and did United Shades, there was a Hollywood reporter roundtable, reality television roundtable. And this was years ago, and you'll know how it was years ago. They called me to do it, and they said that Tony Bourdain was going to be there. And I was like, oh, well, I'll definitely do it because I hadn't met him yet. I'd had the show in United Shades for a year. And I was like, great, I get to hang out with Tony. I haven't met him, and I've been a fan of his since before I had the show. And then I got there, and it was a bunch of other reality television people. And I got there, and Tony is standing on the corner talking to the publicist from CNN, and she's this little tiny lady, and he's this tall guy, and she's pointing in his face, clearly sort of browbeat, looking like a teacher talking to a student who just failed, and I expected more of you. And he just sort of looks like, and then I walk up like, hey man, he's like, yeah, I gotta go, and he leaves. And then I walk in, and he just does it, so he doesn't do the event. And I walk in, and she's like, he had some previously scheduled business, and I'm like, I can tell a lie when I hear it. And then I walk into where we're recording the interview, and I walk past the green rooms and has everybody's name on a piece of paper, and one of them says Kris Kardashian, and I was like, oh shit, because I knew he hated the Kardashians, and I'm like, he left because Kris Kardashian, because I didn't know Kris Kardashian was going to be there either. And I think she got booked at the last minute, and he's like, I can't sit at, and I found out he was like, I can't sit at a table with a member of the Kardashian family.
Wow.
Right, and he just walked out.
He just bounced, and I thought it was one of the greatest things of all time. And I would, even now.
Wait a minute. Greatest things of all time.
All time. My list of greatest things of all time.
I want to hear the other greatest things of all time.
I did a cereal this morning. The almond milk to pecan ratio. I think I really nailed it. I have a bunion on my foot that's healing up nicely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these beat the discovery of fire as a way to, okay.
I wasn't there for that, so maybe it wasn't that good. I saw Andy Bourdain leave a senior publicist because he didn't want to stomach Kris Kardashian. I saw that happen, and I was like, that dude knows who he is, and I wish I had that much integrity. Anyway, I'm going to go in there and talk to Kris Kardashian. And at the end of this event, it was like me, RuPaul, her, some other people, Leah Remini. Kris Kardashian gave everybody gift bags. Which I was handed everybody and was like, and it was.
Wait, and she's just invited? I mean, she's not hosting the thing.
No,
she's not.
She really just showed us all up to go, you didn't bring a gift bag?
Wow.
I brought gift bags, and she had gift bags of whatever Kylie's new lip kit was.
Well, wait, that's not really a gift bag.
I mean, it was makeup that was hard to get.
Yeah, my father has a brick business. Here's a brick. It's got the name of my father's brick business on it.
I still had not ever seen anybody hand out random gift bags that weren't a kid's birthday party or a wedding. So I was pretty impressed at the time. And she was like, give this to your wife. And I was like, how does she know I have a wife? Like, they have like, do you have a dossier? Like, why do you?
Oh my God.
I had a memory of you, an experience involving you recently, which is my wife and I had put a lot of stuff in storage, and we were going back because the different, I moved from the Warner Brothers offices, and we moved, in the old days we were in New York, and we went to go through it all and kind of figure out, is there anything that should leave storage? And at one point I'm with my wife, and there's this woman there that runs a storage facility, and we're in the valley, and we're going through stuff, and we open a box, and my wife just picks up this, what looks like a furry dead animal out of the box, and she says, what the hell? What is this? And I said, that was a gift from Walton Goggins. and I, no, hold on, yes. Listen, you were promoting The Hateful Eight.
Right, yes.
And in The Hateful Eight, you play, the whole movie takes place in Minnie's haberdashery.
It does take place in Minnie's
The whole haberdashery, the walls are covered with different pelts. And you, I was excited. I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. You came backstage after the show and said, Conan, I brought you a gift. And you handed me one of the many pelts that was hanging on the wall from Minnie's haberdashery, which is there for the whole shoot. And I was like, my God, thank you. And I cut to my wife saying, what the hell is this? And she said, we're getting rid of it. And I said, we're not getting rid of it. Walton Goggins gave that to me. And of course, now I bring it up, and you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about now, and I did do that, and I'm glad that you kept it.
Yeah, I kept it. You also gave me Quentin Tarantino's Amex card.
Oh,
so that which I also have kept.
Yeah.
No, but I did. I just was like, no, we cannot. We're hanging on to that because I love the movie. I loved your performance in it, and I thought, that's very cool that you gave that to me. So I'm hanging on to that. And it's in it. It's my Citizen Kane warehouse. When I die, my last words are going to be Goggins. And everyone's going to wonder, what does it mean? And reporters are going to scramble, and it's going to end with everyone throwing my stuff into a fire in a warehouse.
That'll happen.
And then it'll be like, yeah, you'll be there. And taking the occasional thing, and then one worker just picking up a pelt and shrugging and tossing it in. Why did he say Goggins? I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
I guess we'll never care.
I guess we'll never care. But anyway, that was a really nice memory I had.
Jennifer and I, at the as they do when a movie is wrapping, more often than not, the production will put up a sale, right? Like the things that people may want to get money back for the studio that's paying for it. And we both kind of looked at each other and asked for the catalog before it kind of came out.
Yeah.
Because we had both been coveting all of these animal skins for like 6 months. Like, wow, that's just a pretty brown one right there. Look at, what are they gonna? Wow, that would look so good on a sofa. Unbelievable.
Hey, we could give that to Conan.
And there
He's
was
just dumb
one
enough to take it.
Conan will love this one.
It really does look like a squirrel that got run over by a truck. That's what it looks like more than anything else, which might be what it is.
Yeah.
But it was a very nice memory. And also, I've watched all of Quentin Tarantino's movies many times. I've watched that one several times. That would not be what I would take from that movie.
What would you take?
I would want Kurt Russell's beard from that movie.
I'm
guessing it's real because Kurt Russell seems like a guy that could have grown that beard maybe in 2 days.
Yes, in 2 days, yeah.
But God.
It's the best head of hair, too.
Jesus Christ.
God, his hair is so...
It is.
It is amazing.
I hate him and his hair.
He is...
Can I tell you one really quick story?
Yeah.
Is it about his hair? Yes.
Well, it's not even about hair. It's just kind of a segue to a moment, just to a memory, because so much of that was it was exhausting for everybody there, and it was extremely cold, and it was just hours upon hours in this room that Quentin had set to a certain temperature. And because he didn't, want to manufacture these breaths, he wanted them to be real. He also said, I made the room really, really cold so I would work faster. But he just kept wearing bigger jackets.
Cheater.
And there was one moment where we would all kind of sit and huddle in a corner and all of us and just confer in this one part of the bar right there. But there was one moment one night where everyone was so tired and Kurt was just, like I say, seeing things because we all saw things being up that late. And I saw him having a conversation with a chair. And I just like talked to Sam. I said, look at him, man. What do you think he's saying to that chair right now? Like, it was like this drug-induced insanity.
Well, that cast,
like
you,
Tarantino-induced insanity.
Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt. I mean, it's just incredible. What an insane cast.
It was a dream of a lifetime.
Yeah.
It really, really was. And Madsen and Tim Roth and all of them. It's really... And we were still, I mean, what has it been, 8 years or something like that? And we just texted, I don't know, the other day we text about like once a month or something like that. Somebody will reach out and say, where are the haters? What are they doing? And it's just the cast. And
that's so cool. The Hateful Eight. It's all you're the haters.
Yeah, it's the hater board. That's what we call it. And still, we started it when we were in production, and it's still going strong. 8 years later.
What's interesting to me is that on Justified, you were not supposed to be a recurring character, in Justified. And what's amazing is that only made sense to me later on because in the first episode with you, Tim Oliphant, famously at the end, towards the end of the episode, shoots you, and it looks like he shoots you right through the heart. And then later on, they go, he's okay. And I thought, oh, he shot you in the non-vital part of the heart? And I mean, when you looked at it later on, it was because they looked at you, they looked at you and the dailies and everything, and they said, we can't let this guy go.
Yeah.
But you didn't get shot in the arm, you didn't get shot in the throat.
No,
You got shot through the heart at close range. And then the next episode, well, I'm pretty sore about that.
I think they filmed this. I mean, if I remember it correctly, they added this scene for the top of episode 2. I think. Don't forgive me if I'm wrong. Where I think Nick Cersei and Raylan are having a conversation or something like that. But I'm just being ferried out on a gurney. Like that's where he says he made it, and I'm just
there's a hole the size of my fist in your heart.
It's a big gun. He had a big gun.
But they got you to a really good hospital on that country road.
Yes.
I mean, you've played so many great characters, but in The Righteous Gemstones, I feel like the minute I started watching that show and then you showed up, and I remember not knowing you were going to be in the show for some reason. And the minute you show up, I thought, you can't do The Righteous Gemstones without Walton Goggins. You have to have him.
Did I tell you the story about the David Gordon Green was directing that episode? And the very first time you meet Baby Billy, he's in a bathtub.
Oh, I know this. He's in a hot tub.
Hot tub, bathtub outside, looking out at his land, looking out over his empire.
Yeah.
And at some point in the scene, he stands up, and he's fully naked, and there it is.
The viewer sees.
Sees everything, and then he turns around, he puts on his bathrobe, and then steps out of the bathtub. Well, they called in a body double to do that, who was 76, 78 years old, something like that, to be in the tub, right? And they flew him in from Chicago. And I'm like, how did you, what's the audition process? You couldn't find him in South Carolina? Really? You had to go to Chicago? So he comes in and I meet him.
You had to go to Chicago to find a dick?
Yeah.
This guy's top of his game, though. You have to understand.
Top of his game.
Stick guy.
Yeah.
And I met him on that day, and he was dressed like me, kind of looked like me, and I'm thinking like, who are you? He said, I'm you. I'm your body double. I'm standing in for you. And it's like, oh, okay. Cut to the show comes out. There it is. And I get a phone call from this friend of mine who says, Oh my God, baby Billy Freeman. I can't stand it. I love it so much. And can I just say how good your body looks? And I said, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's 76.
76 years old. You think that's my fucking body? True story.
I did wonder, because the penis is right there.
Penis is right there.
In high definition.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautifully lit.
I mean, it's a nice penis. I mean, it's a nice penis.
But it's
I don't
definitely
know.
a Chicago penis.
Yeah, it's a Chicago
you can
penis.
tell. And you know what? South side.
Deep dish.
That's a South Side penis.
dish.
Deep dish South Side. That's a White Sox penis. That's not a
Yes.
Cubs penis.
It does not have a Southern accent.
Yeah.
Oh, very, very Yankee.
What's going on here? What are we doing here down south? Penis, shut up. You're ruining it. I just got out of a hot tub. Yeah. Gotta get a sausage.
Cubs or the White Sox.
Yeah. Danny McBride, obviously, you guys work together so well.
He is the funniest person I have ever met in my life. And I think universally people that hang out with him or know him would say outside of what he does on camera, just in, hanging out, he is the funniest, effortlessly funny.
Just coming right from his source, whatever that is.
Yeah. We did this photo shoot for GQ for vice principals. And this one particular, it wasn't even a skit. We were just dressed up and they were taking these photos and he was Ronald McDonald and I was the Hamburglar. and we were just like hanging out and they were doing this background kind of video or whatever. And I was just talking to them and as the Hamburglar, he's smoking a cigarette and talking about, I almost went to jail for stealing stuff. Like when I was in high school, I got in with the wrong kids and as if this was the Hamburglar's experience. But it was my experience, right? I'd had that kind of like happen when I was a freshman in high school.
I love a real depiction of the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
Like,
Christopher
you
Nolan
got to be
gets his hands
committed.
on the hamburger.
Yeah.
You got to be committed. And just at the end, out of nowhere, Danny just said, like, in some cameras, like, do you know what the worst thing is I stole? What? A child. And you're like,
and he's dressed as
like Ronald McDonald.
He's dressed as Ronald McDonald.
and it's like, drop the microphone.
Yes,
there it is.
there you go.
Walk off.
And we just lost our McDonald's sponsorship.
Yeah.
It was a part he was playing, not.
It was a part.